everybody, it's Sharon here. Welcome back to my channel for those who are returning, and welcome to any new subscribers that may be visiting for the first time. I'm doing a little impromptu craft with me. I'm just in my craft space and I've been tidying my space actually and organising and trying to get some sense of placement for things. And I was just having a look at my paper pad that I'm using for this journal, and I have created one of my little manila folders for it. It isn't decorated at all or altered in any way, but I have just turned up the bottom edge to stop things from falling out. I actually had it sitting upright on my desk, and every time it was moved, all the little pieces that are in here kept falling out. So I've turned that up to try and stop that from happening. And anyway, so I've just been looking at my paper pad trying to decide what I wanted to do next, and I turned it over and looked at the back, and these little prints are calling out to me. So I decided I'd have a play. I'm thinking altered paper clips. I've just pulled out the smaller paper clips and measured them up against that, and I think they might make really sweet little altered paper clips. So we might have a play along with this paper pad and the paper clips. I've pulled out just some little little scrap fabrics. Golly gosh, that didn't want to come out. And I've also, to my left, picked up my big pile of collage papers, and to my right I have some more little fabric scraps in here. So I thought I might just have a little play. I don't know where this will go. I don't know whether I will like it or not like it, but why not? So, and I haven't even cut them out before turning the video on. I literally just looked at them and went, oh, paper clips, that could work. So on went the camera, and I'm hoping that I don't run out of memory on my camera, because it has been a little bit of an issue that I've been trying to resolve. In my organisation, again, I've shifted a few things around, so it might take me a moment to rediscover where I've placed things. So I'm just going to use my trimmer and ruler to do this, because I thought it might be quicker. Probably should have done that differently, but never mind. I just realized I've cut through the backing image, but that's okay. I'm not sure I could use it the way it was anyway. So just cutting these out. And I've also just realized that I haven't thought about what I'm going to put at the back of these. So let's have a little think about that while we're on the go. I could use some manila folder. I think this paper here might be a little bit too narrow. I don't really want anything that busy, I don't think. Anyway, I hope you're all fabulous. I'm enjoying getting my craft space organised. I feel like I'm slowly kicking goals at the moment, which is a fabulous feeling. Still lots more to do, but so worth the effort. I kind of feel like I'm seeing a sense of direction of where I want to go. So okay, and that hasn't quite cut through by the look of that. Gosh, that is the cutest. I don't want to force anything because I don't want it to tear. Okay, so that's 4. So as you know, or perhaps you knew and you don't know, hello to anybody who's new, I have 6 signatures, which is a lot for a journal, but I am creating this for a very special someone as a gift. So I'm kind of going above and beyond. And it will be very, very chunky, but, well, that's my intention anyway. Whether I change my mind, I don't know, but okay. So I'm thinking I might take this one. And this bottom one. So I'm basically after the little squares that look like full pages rather than journaling cards, as you can see this one here and others under my hand look more like the journaling cards that are in the kit or in the paper pad, sorry. I've just noticed these little butterflies, which I hadn't noticed before. I might have to fussy cut those out too. Okay, and I'm going to keep that with the rest of my papers. Oops. And I'll pop that back in the folder. Again, aiming for organisation. Okay, and I just noticed I have a couple of little scraps here that I'm not going to throw out at this stage, if I can pick it up. They are only tiny and they are only partial, but I am going to keep those. You never know. You just never know. Okay. So just standing that up. I'm bringing this back across. Okay, let's see what we have to play with. I don't actually know which way up this goes. Oh, I think it's that way. And ironically, these are all the same as the pages of my journal. So I could check the orientation of those. I might just do that. I'd just like to make sure that I have them. I think it would look funny if somebody pulls out one of them and it's the wrong way around. So far so good, I think. This is the one I wasn't sure about. Oh no, that's the right way up. Perfect. Okay, So what to back them with? Now I was just wondering whether book paper at the back might be enough, and I could collage some tea stain paper or something on the edge, on the back, sorry. I have some pieces here already glued together that are fairly sturdy. There was a bit of wrinkling with these, but I think for a paper clip they'd be okay because they're only smallish pieces I need. So I do want to ink these. Sorry guys. They are just so darling. So I'm thinking I'm wondering if these are going to be too thick. Actually, did I have... I got these scrap. Hello everybody, I'm back again. So I did the intro for this video, for this craft with me, and we cut out these little pieces from our scrapbook pad from the Wonderland, Stamperia Wonderland paper pack that we're using, or paper pad that we're using. And I ducked off to get some pieces of tea-dyed card and things, and I got back to my desk and I went, I really don't know where I want to take it. In actual fact, I had an idea of where I wanted to take it. I just wasn't sure how to achieve that. So it's actually been quite a few days since I did that intro. And as you've seen, I have added it to the beginning of this video. And I have to say, I still don't know quite where I'm going to go with this, but let's just jump right in. You'll have to excuse my little band-aid here. I just paper cut, nothing serious, just needed to cover it. So we have these beautiful little, tiny little paper. They're actually the same paper sheets as the sheets that we've used on the outside of our signatures, which I really love. And these were an example of what the papers were on the back cover of the paper pack. And I really love that I get to use them in a different way. So I'm just going to try one idea. Like I said, not really sure how I'm going to do this. So I don't even know which one I'm going to use at this stage, but nothing like diving right in and just going to make sure you can see. Okay, hopefully that'll be a little bit better for you. I feel like they're so tiny that you're a long way away now, but we'll see if I can move it again in a little bit, perhaps when I finish cutting these. So I'm just checking the size of these, and they're probably not all the same size. But not quite 1 3/4 by the look of that. Okay. And I do have a problem with my little paper cutter not always cutting straight. So I just have a little piece of craft paper here, craft cardboard, sorry. And it's just a little scrap that I had. And I'm just going to see if I can cut it to be the same size. So I hope you're all fabulous. I am. I'm just in case you're wondering. Oh dear. Today was Friday, housework day. This doesn't go up. Okay. I can't remember which way around that went. Nope, that way is a better fit. So by the look of it, it's almost square, but not quite. Okay, I'm wondering if that's, no, not quite big enough. That's okay. I am going to do another one, I think, just in case. I'm not sure I'll need the second one, but roughly there. Can't remember which way around I had that. I think I had it that way. Oops, that didn't work very well. So yes, I've had this little project in mind for a while. I'm not really sure. I want them all to be, so I want to do a paper clip with each of these gorgeous little paper cutouts, but I'm not 100% sure how I want to go about that. I want them all to be a little bit different if I can. Okay. So we've done that. We're good now. We can finish. Okay, so the other thing I want to do is I want to cut this. This is just a piece of scrap manila folder. And I just want to cut it to the same width. It's not as easy for me to judge exactly where the blade is going to go on this cutter. This cutter is great except for precision work. And I think I've mentioned before, I do feel like the little wire has some movement. I'm not actually sure if it can be tightened. I never really thought about it. Doesn't look like it. Anyway, not what you want me doing during your viewing time. But I have wondered. Okay, it's a beautiful day outside. And then that one should fit over there. So I want my scoreboard. And I am going to move those aside. I wasn't really sure I was using this one for this paper clip, but looks like I am because that's what I'm measuring for. Okay. And I'm thinking I want to, I'm looking for my phone folder and it's, you know, right in front of me. So I want to score. Okay. And that's as good as I've got. That's as much as I know that I want to do. And I don't even know how to explain to you what I want to do because I'm not 100% sure myself. So what I can tell you is usually when you do a paper clip, you have your back and your front and your paper clip sits, and we have to use the little ones for these. So these will be minis, itty bitty minis. Okay. So they'll be attached something like, sounds like, let me see if I can do this. So this piece will be attached here, and then this piece will be attached at the back, leaving this center part open, if I can get to it, and that will go over your book. I don't want it to be, I want it to be square obviously, but I don't want it to be, that's all there is. So I'm wondering if I'm going to add a couple of paper clips here. What I'm thinking, see if I can explain. What I'm thinking is I want to basically concertina this card. I possibly should have made it a little bit wider. Okay. Oh no, that could still work actually. Another little idea that I haven't done quite right that I have to rethink. So, okay. So if I score that at 1 1/4, well, that's actually 1 3/4. Can count. Okay, so 1 2 3 1 1 1 2 3. I may not use all of these. Okay, so that's as long as we can go, and I'm going to leave that piece on there for now. So I'm going to fold these, and they need to be in opposite directions, so I do need to score both ways, I think. And I might do every second one this way. Okay, so I want to do this. This is what I want to do. Oh no. And then going the opposite direction for the next one. And again in the opposite direction for the next one. So I'm basically creating myself a little accordion. And then in the opposite direction for this one. I'm sorry about that phone sound. I'm not actually sure where it's coming from. If you can even hear it. It's quite distracting for me. Okay, so we've ended up with a little concertina booklet at the bottom. Oh, at the back, sorry. And this piece here, I just did that and I was like, and this little piggy. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm thinking, just let me think for a moment. So we have a little booklet type fold out there. So my issue is how to close it so it doesn't just become a nuisance. And I'm thinking maybe I can tuck this up. So maybe I need to score in. Is that going to be too much? Just trying to get the score line. So I'm thinking here. And where am I going to tuck? Oh, maybe it could tuck back into itself. Okay, so what I was thinking is maybe I could tuck it into the bottom of the front part of the paperclip, but that stops me from popping it over a page. So, for example, I just have this envelope here. If I have this with the concertina at the back and it tucks in under here, so this is the front of the paperclip, I then essentially can't tuck it over the page. So I'm thinking, yes, I know what the thinking, and it needs to be a lot shorter, but I'm thinking maybe into the back. So this part here is attached to here. It's a little bit of bulk, but it's not too bad. And then that tucks over. Forget the paper clips, the outside ones, but that's just holding it in place. Okay, so I still have a little bit of okay, so that kind of works. So how can I fix that? You guys are getting the raw, unedited version right here. Okay. So I'm wondering whether I need to create additional little tabs, maybe even a piece of this. Across there. I feel like I should have cut it longer. I'm wondering if I've got another piece of that card, that manila folder. I'll try and edit out so you only get the short version of this, guys, because I could be thinking for a while. I don't know why. It kind of reminds me of a little matchbox. Don't ask me why. I can't tell you why, but that's what it's making me think of. So if I'm tucking underneath there, I can't tuck into the sides of that. It's super cute. So they won't be there. Sorry, I'm talking about these paper clips. They won't be there. So how can I make that? I'm kind of feeling like if I had tabs, and they would be like longer tabs. So if I'm folding it this way, let's just cut that. Okay, so we're just going to pretend that these tabs are all the way down, that they could then fold in underneath. But is that practical? Because that does hold it in place then. Does it need to be up higher? It works better if it's up higher. Sorry, it's cup of tea time. It's thinking time. It's time for a cup of tea. Do I attach a piece of string, maybe? That does feel quite firm. When I just push that in there, it feels like it's quite snug and it's meant to be there and it would hold quite well. Which means I just feel like it would wear very easily. So if so option B, option C. So I'm taking a piece of string. So a little piece of string. This would tuck up underneath here. Haven't quite worked out the logistics of that yet, but... And I'm kind of thinking you can tuck this around and just tie it. Maybe it would need to be a little bit longer to tie it easily. You get the idea. That's kind of fun. Maybe I could glue that little piece of rope. It would only affect one little square of the card. You could still journal around that once it's untied. Maybe I could just not glue it in. Maybe I could leave it loose so it can come away. And then this piece, which would be shorter, let's make this about half the size. Doesn't feel like it's holding as well as it was, but it was easier to get in underneath. So that could work. And then if I slip this underneath, whoops, and I tuck, what if I had this longer? What if? I thought that last piece was quite long, but... So if I pop that under there, and whoops. So remembering this would be a page in a journal and not an envelope that we're working with. And back the other way. Don't really know how I ended up with them in the same direction there. Really bad management. Now I've cut this little tab at the back shorter. It's catching the string. What have I done here? Okay, so tucking, around and around the garden we go. And then this one goes in the opposite direction, which clearly I didn't do last time. Or maybe I did. Maybe it needs to go in the same direction. Maybe this is the opposite direction. Okay, and then clearly you'd have more on this side, but then that could just tie on. So I don't mind that idea. Or, and there's more. Maybe. I'm wondering if I can attach it to our little spine at the bottom here, and then it can just be wound around from one end. So obviously this wouldn't be as long, but that's quite easy. And then they could just dangle, maybe. Like that. That's quite cute. Do I want to keep it at that length? Because I like that. Okay. So if I have my book page, assuming that my paperclip is like this, and we pop it over the page like this. Whoops, not like that. I quite like that little bit just dangling. I kind of feel like that's quite fun. And then we'd probably need to decorate the back of it somehow, but I quite like that. So I'm wondering if a little glitter glue might be enough to attach that string just in the bottom of that little spine that we've created. How fun! Okay, well, I think I'm going to go with that idea because I like it. I like it. So I don't really know what I want to do with the back of it. Didn't think that far ahead. Okay, so I don't need the scoreboard anymore. A little piece of... I'm thinking maybe I could just collage the back of it just with some... I've got some itty bitty scrap papers that I could... I mean, I could leave it blank and it just becomes journaling space, because if this is just slipped out, see, that's quite easy to just, when you stop getting them mixed up. That could possibly be a little bit shorter. I think that will open up better when I haven't actually got it attached anymore with the string. Kind of funny. Also, doing that from the front is actually much easier because it's not catching on the little, this little tab anymore. Okay, so I like that piece of string because it's a good length. And these work really well. Whoops. So I'm going to do a little bit of inking. I like inking, anybody? And And I haven't. I am going to ink around the inside as well, just in case my card is put on skew if and doesn't quite attach properly. It will show the white or plain edges, so I'm not even sure how well this craft paper will take the ink. It's making me work for it. That's why I'm getting bits on my desk. Okay, and then doing this one. I think I hear a siren outside. It's too far away to be coming here. It's okay, we're safe. I shouldn't say that just in case. Well, that'd be devastating. I have no reason for sirens to come my direction. Trust me. One of my favourite sayings is, trust this face, but I can't say that to you guys because we haven't gone there yet. I'm a little bit camera shy still. Okay, I'm going to ink all the way, both front and back. Just trying to decide whether I'm happy with the tab, this tab here at that height. I think I'm going to leave it at that width. I'm not exactly sure how wide it is, I will tell you. So our little spine here is just 1/16. And then, sorry, 1/16 of an inch. And then this little tab, it's not quite 5/8. So 9/16 it is. Do you hear me counting? So it's 9/16 of an inch. You could possibly have it a 1/2 inch and get away with it, I'm thinking. Whatever works for you. That's just what I've done. Okay. And so when this opens up, all of this space inside is journaling space. Instead of just one little square at the back, we've just added a whole lot of space for people to write down their memories or their hopes or their dreams or their wishes. Fun. Whoops. They could possibly even use it as a, I'm just looking at the size of it. It might be big enough to fit like a almost passport size photo. So you might be able to put like, well, it'd probably have to be cut down, but little photos, miniature photos in there. Maybe. Okay, and then you could also leave it and not ink the folds. I mean, you don't have to ink it all, obviously. It's my thing, but I like the ink, and I like the folds to look like they've been there for longer than just the moment that I made them. Just wondering how long I've been videoing for. I feel like it took me a while to get to that decision. Well, actually, it's taken me a long time considering I started this quite a few days ago. But, you know, when you're going to do something, do it right. And it didn't feel right when I tried to do it last time. I had the idea, I just didn't have the complete concept. and I only have these little, like I only have one of each of these little squares. It's not like I can make it and get it wrong and try again, because these are the only minis I have, so I wanted to make sure it was right. Okay, so that's that done. Clean up my my brush. It's kind of departing piece by piece, isn't it? Oh dear. Okay, and then my little scraps. What have I got? So I need to remember which way it went. I think it was this way. What am I doing wrong, guys? Okay, let's start at the top because it's kind of doing what it needs to do. That's it. So it's this one. I'm going to do an X marks the spot, I think. X marks the spot as the back. Okay. And we just need itty bitty pieces for this. So that's fun. Itty bitty pieces. I might be able to use one of those little butterflies somehow. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, I like that. That's from another project. Yes, these are from other projects, and that's fun too. Oh, I think just a little piece like that, perhaps. And so many choices, I can't decide. Let's just go for gold. Can I just say, have I mentioned I am loving these folders? I still haven't covered any more, but I'm using, because this has got majority of the papers I've been using for this journal, and I have not added that extra strip of manila folder to the side. I mentioned in the video where I created one of these folders that I thought you could add the tab and maybe add it as a, or add it with a hinge so that it flipped out, and that way this whole thing can sit flat. I don't know if you can see that. It can sit flat on your desk. I think if I was going to add that, I would do it that way. And it just makes it so much easier to get papers in and out by being able to open this tab out. So I have one with tissue paper in it, and I went to put the tissue paper back in after my last video, and being able to open this out and flatten the tissue paper out nicely before I popped it away, it just worked a treat. So just thought I'd share that while I had that out. Okay, so I may have to go because I think hubby just came home, so I may pack up and I'll be back soon to see you. Bye.